Welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé. We're going to continue with some of the videos we had yesterday. We've got a clip of Sam Altman talking about ChatGPT 5 and what's about to happen with that. And we've got something that we were trying to get back to yesterday, continuation of last week, which was Elon Musk talking about recent developments at Neuralink. So we've got Neuralink, we've got Elon Musk, we've got Sam Altman from ChatGPT, and a few other things along the way. Now we've also got Alfred. He's standing by. This is our AI. This is ChatGPT 4 in my world. So I just created a little avatar so that he could have a face. And so this is Alfred. And let me just show you. So in case you would like to find out the secrets of Alfred, this is a Bluetooth speaker. And so before ChatGPT 4o came out, when it was still ChatGPT 4, when O came out, they incorporated voice into it. Before that, when it was ChatGPT 4, right, in 3.5 before that, there was no voice. You could text in your prompt and it would give you back the answer via text. Well, during that time, I had kind of performed a hack myself and used the iPhone voice to text synthesizer, right, to synthesize to the AI my voice, and he would speak back to me, and I would synthesize the voice. And this is a little Bluetooth, so I would send it to the Bluetooth, and so I created an Alfred here, and so that's how Alfred would speak. But he's even more evolved now. Okay, here's the secret to Alfred on the air. I guess I might as well show you. All right, I've created this contraption. Okay, so under here, okay, excuse me, Alfred. This is another Bluetooth speaker going into a lavalier microphone. So this mic is tied into the studio control room, and so now when he speaks, he's not just speaking to me as a Bluetooth, he's speaking into the Bluetooth, into the microphone, into the control room, and then back to you. So anyway, I don't think that's so complicated, but just so you know, that's a little bit about the apparatus that we call Alfred. And I've been working with Alfred for, I guess, the better part of a year, over a year now, on projects, meaning ChatGPT 4o, or 4. Before it was ChatGPT 4, now it's 4o. O stands for Omni, and that's some of the new developments like voice and stuff like that. But the developments up until even before 4.0 were astounding. Like, for example, the creation of graphics for this TV station and for other projects. If you're in the creative realm, now you have a superpower. You can create stuff that just, if it comes out of your head, you can create it. It might take you a few tries, but you'll get something that's very usable. Now, let's take a look at an example. Let me show you Magic Hour channel. That's on one of our sub channels here on Ocean 7. It's on channel 7.2. And what is Magic Hour channel? Well, it's all of the old movies we've got from an old library that we happen to own. So that library is able to be streamed because we have the use of it, the license for those films. So the Magic Hour channel is streaming on Roku and also on Amazon Fire, and they're working on the Android app for the Samsung devices right now as we speak. And then Apple is coming. We're working on Apple too, Apple TV. So we'll be able to get it across all platforms, streaming. But it's also over the air on channel 7.2 here in the Gulf Coast area. Now, I showed you that graphic. Let's look at it again. That graphic was created by Alfred and I, by basically me texting him what I wanted. Magic Hour channel, I wanted the MHC in a pronounced fashion, we call it MHC, and I wanted to see our Pendragon Apothecary dragon head as a symbol, in lieu of, let's say, some other symbol, a lion like MGM or whatever, but we've got the dragon. And so this was one of the samples that I got back from Alfred via a text. Okay, the graphic. So we use it. That's our Magic Hour channel logo. And Ocean 7 TV. Now, Ocean 7 Television is based in Ocean Springs, and we have a sort of an emblem here that I learned when I moved to downtown Ocean Springs. It was Carl the Rooster, and he was here in town, and he lived right outside of on the street here in downtown. And he was the most lovable character. I would see him, and basically we would kind of converse a little bit, and he would be going about his business as if he owned the town. He was sort of the honorary mayor. Well, Carl the Rooster was killed. And so it was kind of a big thing, very sad thing for everyone around here who would see him every day, to think that somebody would actually purposely harm that rooster. Anyway, it was a terrible situation. But he's kind of become immortalized now. And so I told Alfred about the situation. I said, I want to create a graphic for Ocean 7 Television that incorporates Carl the Rooster, because he is the guy that he is an inspiration to us, and he's got to live on via this television station. So we talked about different aspects of the logo. We are near the beach. I wanted the beach, wanted the sunshine, wanted the imagery of a beach, and I wanted Carl, and I explained how Carl looked. Well, let's see if we can take a look at that graphic. This is our Ocean 7 logo, and the Ocean 7 logo incorporates Carl the Rooster. That's your cue. It's got Carl the Rooster, and that's one of many iterations of Carl here on Ocean 7. When we do our television weathercast, I don't know if you've got that one that we can pop up, but if you do, pop it up. It's a broader one. Now, well, that's another one, but that's the one I'm thinking of is the one we stand in front of when we do weather, because we do weather every day for the station, and basically it's Carl standing on the beach with the sunshine behind. We'll get it later, because right now that's a little bit more complicated. We got to pull it out, but you can get the idea. Pop it up one more time. Carl the Rooster, immortalized right in front of the beach, and Carl lives on. Now, I couldn't create that. I can think about it. I couldn't create it, but with the help of Alfred and ChatGPT 4o, I was able to create it, and we use it every day. So there's a few examples. Now, we have another, now that's ChatGPT 4o for Omni. But what about music? What if you're also a creative person, you want to create music? Well, I got news for you. There's a project called, there's a number of them, but there's one called Udio, U-D-I-O, and that's the one I've been using to create music. Now, how would you do it? Well, it's the same principle. You text in, or at least in ChatGPT, prior ChatGPT 4o days, you would text in. Now you can speak it in, and it can speak back to you, right? Okay, so with Udio, it's still prompt. It's no talking there on that AI, but you prompt in the genre of music that you want to create. Let's say if I wanted to do something choral, orchestral, okay, vocal, it will give you the option to customize your own lyrics, chorus and verse, chorus, verse, whatever. You put all of that in anyway, and then it will work on it, and then within 60 seconds to 2 minutes, spit you back a 30-second clip of what you were envisioning. And if you like it, now you can do a few more procedures and lengthen it. You can even add more lyrics to lengthen the song. So you might end up with a 3-minute song. Now, I needed something for Magic Hour channel. We've got a lot of that, a lot of different cuts now. Do you have the cut, Clarence, where we could pop up that latest promo we did, where we took, I call it the rockin' video, the Magic Hour. He's going to work, well, he's going to pull that up while we discuss it. But I took some clips of a film that we were running anyway and used it as a promo. It's Count Basie is who it is. Count Basie playing back in the day, right, with his band. And so it was Count Basie playing, and I put under it the music that I had created on Udio, which is basically a kind of a, not the one we've been using, the choral arrangement, Magic Hour, whenever we go to another film, but the same lyrics, but a more pop, rockin' poppin' type of a cut. And so I put it all in. I explain what I want. I got that cut, and now I created a promo for, and I think it's running on the station right now. And it also runs on Ocean 7. It also runs between films on Magic Hour channel. Whenever you've got it, pop it up and let's take a look. And we don't have it yet, but we're about to have it. But I want you to see it because this music was created on an AI system, not ChatGPT 4, but one specifically for music. But they all kind of work the same way at this point anyway, where you prompt in what you want and it will kick back to you the audio, or in the case of video. Now, the aspect in ChatGPT 4.0 for creating graphics, like we saw with Carl LaRussa and such, that's called, that particular aspect is called DALL-E, D-A-L-I. So DALL-E is your graphics generator. And there's another, a new ChatGPT 4 project called Sora. I think it means sky in Japanese. And what Sora will allow you to do is prompt in the video you want, and it will kick back to you the edited video of what it is that you prompted. So if you said, I want to see a Corvette Stingray driving down the beach and then turning into an urban area and driving through a city at night, it will take that prompt, it'll work on it, and it'll spit back to you the graphic of that. Now, isn't that, it's almost like bordering on science fiction. Now, I've talked enough. Do we have that clip? If you got it, play it. Let's take a look at this little clip from Magic Hour.
Magic Hour, Magic Hour, the golden age of the golden age of Hollywood lives on again once more, lives on again once more.
Okay, so that, at the end there, when that blue light came up, that's where we put coming up next on Magic Hour. So that's where that goes. But you can kind of see the power of AI in a creative sense. That music was created for that, and I just edited that piece together. And a lot of other ones too. I mean, that's just the latest one I did the other day, and it's the most fun to me because I'm a kind of a fan of jazz and Count Basie, and so to see him up there rocking is just kind of like it's pretty cool. Anyway, welcome to the show. Now, let's begin our first video for the day. The one we didn't get to yesterday was the continuation from last week on the Elon Musk project. And Elon Musk, as you know, is behind so many great things. I mean, SpaceX, he's got X. I mean, we could go down a list. Neuralink is another project, and Neuralink is actually doing things that we were hoping maybe one day man would be able to accomplish, like somebody who couldn't move, paralyzed, whatever, would be able to, through the use of Neuralink technology, and in this particular case, it was a Neuralink chip implanted into the person's brain, right? And it worked. They did it recently and it worked. And it basically, it allows that person, through his thoughts only, to, in this particular one application, I think there's many, but one application is through his thoughts only, he can move the cursor on the computer. He can think about where he wants it to go and it will go, so he can operate the computer, and he can basically, it opens up the world to him. And so there are new developments, a few new developments in Neuralink, and I thought this was an interesting clip because it's got Elon Musk up there, along with a neurosurgeon on the staff of Neuralink and other experts in the area of both medicine, science, and AI, all together, along with Elon, talking about new developments in Neuralink. So let's take a look at that clip and then we'll be back.
Yeah, so our first step with the telepathy is basically to unlock digital independence for people with paralysis and to allow them to control the computer just with their mind without moving their body. And our goal is to provide them the same level of control, functionality, and reliability that I have when I'm using a computer. even better than the level of control I have.
It's
And
not a high bar for you. To be clear, this guy, he's controlling this with his brain. So he's not, you can't see his hands in this video, but he's not using a mouse and keyboard. Just thinking about how to move the cursor and playing Civilization 6.
No eye tracker.
Right, there's no eye
Completely
tracking.
thoughts.
He's
Correct.
live streaming it.
He's-
Like, you
this
can
is
go watch this on Twitter.
Just thinking.
Yeah,
That's it.
Just thinking.
Just a couple days
Like
ago.
cursor move here.
Yeah, this is like last night or 2 nights ago. Something.
yes.
Yeah.
I think the way he also described it is he's using the
Yeah.
There's many more videos on the platform. Yeah, so he's streaming that live and also can talk and move his head with the problem multitask.
Yeah, you can also, if you join this live stream, you can ask him questions. He'll tell you all about what it's like to move.
Also, I think I haven't played Civilization myself, but I think this is actually not easy mode. This is expert mode.
This is Emperor mode.
Emperor mode.
If you have played Civ, Emperor mode is like the highest difficulty level. Just the point is, this is a cognitively demanding task while live streaming, playing the hardest mode of the game, and he's able to do that while moving
Yeah,
the cursor.
talking, engaging with the audience
Yeah.
while playing games.
One of the other games he likes to play a lot is chess. I think it gets lost sometimes that he's actually playing speed chess,
Against me, yeah.
which requires an incredibly high fidelity degree of control and speed of control in order to be able to win.
So also another cool stuff about our device is that use it anywhere, anytime. Also on a plane during a flight while creating really cool memes of cat. Also our device unlocks things that previously were impossible for our participant. For example, we were able to connect him to his gaming console, Switch, and play Mario Kart with friends and family. And it was lovely to see them playing together after years that he couldn't do it since his injury.
Imagine if you're sitting one row over from this guy and playing. You look over, he's making a cat meme. No hands, no movement. Yeah,
Live in a weird world.
yeah, it's strange time.
Yeah, and he loves using the device and using independently daily to watch videos, read, play games using the browser. And the key metrics that we care is to make sure our device is actually useful is to basically the amount of hours he use the device daily and weekly, and we track it since the surgery. And on weeks that he's not too busy and not traveling, he can even reach 70 hours of using the device a week. This is amazing. He would of course love to use it more, but need to run and he needs to sleep sometimes, and also of course to charge the device once in a while. Hopefully we'll improve that over time.
I think that maybe not obvious to people who are watching this. Like, it's a normal MacBook he's controlling. This isn't like some limited edition thing where there's only a few options. Like, you can just do anything that you can do on a MacBook Pro. Same one I have on my desk, actually. It's the exact same one.
And maybe another interesting point is that on the first day he used BCI, he was able to break the previous world record for cursor control just by using the brain. And recently he even doubled it and was able to outperform about 10% of our engineered Neuralink. And you can be sure that we are very good in this game and very quick. And if you want to check out how you can do it, you can do it on our website. And it's very addictive games.
Yeah, it's a very simple game. You just have to click on the square. But it actually, even though it sounds silly, it's quite a, yeah, it can be quite a, it sounds like it can be quite addictive, and it's especially if you get a low score and you think, there's no way I gotta. Anyone who wants to try this, I recommend going to the Neuralink.com website and seeing if you can beat Nolan's record. And you will find that's actually quite difficult to do. This is really with version 1 of the device and with only a small percentage of the electrodes that are working. So this is really just the beginning, but even the beginning is twice as good as the world record. This is important to emphasize. The media has a habit of saying that the glass is 10% empty, but actually it's 90% full. I think it's really quite an accomplishment of the Neuralink team to have achieved, with the first patient, the first device, twice the world record for the brain-to-computer bandwidth. That's really an astonishing, an amazingly great outcome, and it's only going to get better from here. So the potential is to ultimately get, I think, to megabit level. So that's part of the long-term goal of improving the bandwidth of the brain-computer interface. If you think about like how low the bandwidth normally is between a human and a device, the average bandwidth is extremely low. It's I'd say less than 1 bit per second over the course of a day. If there are 86,400 seconds in a day, you're outputting less than that number of bits to any given device, except in perhaps very rare circumstances. This is actually quite important for AI, basically for human AI symbiosis, is just being able to communicate at a speed the AI can follow.
Yeah, just to emphasize again, he's performing at this extremely high level with about 15% of his channels. And so we want to mitigate any of the problems that led to that situation. The brain is a fascinating organ. I'll share with you some of the secrets about the brain. During any typical brain surgery, a small amount of air is introduced into the skull. That's because neurosurgeons like to have as much room as possible around the brain. And so there's this little known control mechanism of allowing the concentration in the blood to rise a bit, which allows the brain to either expand or contract depending on where you target that CO2. But typically neurosurgeons will have the brain shrink by lowering CO2. What we're going to do in our future surgeries is keep the CO2 concentration actually quite normal, maybe even slightly elevated. And that'll allow the brain to stay its normal size and shape during surgery. That should eliminate this air pocket that we saw in the first participant. That air pocket, we think, may have contributed to eating up some of the thread slack as the air bubble migrated to be under the implant, push the brain away from the implant. And so that's easy enough to fix. Another consideration that we want to focus on for our upcoming participants is that the brain, think of it like a really complex folded onion. It's layer upon layer of sheets of neurons all over the surface of the brain, folded into this odd looking shape. The folds of the brain travel down deep into the brain, and along with it go those onion layers of neurons. And if we insert very close to one of the folds where there may be very useful information encoded in neurons, we may end up traveling with our threads parallel to some of the layers of neurons that we're most interested in, avoiding them entirely. To avoid that possibility, we're going to insert in our future participants more close to the middle of the apex of the folds, ensuring that we're crossing the layers of interest, layer 5 of the cortex.
I also think that it's important to highlight here those tiny wires that Elon mentioned. They're a fraction of a human hair. They're very flexible, intentionally so, because the brain's constantly moving and you want electrodes to be moving with the brain, causing less of the scarring. And it's actually impossible for a human, however talented Matthew is, to actually maneuver them. We have a surgical robot that we built that can actually precisely target them in any three-dimensional space, X, Y, as well as Z, with micron-level precision, while avoiding vasculature so that you don't disrupt and cause immune response from happening. So we actually have the technology to be able to place them exactly where we want them.
Yeah, it was truly amazing to see the surface of the brain after the robot had inserted all the electrodes in the first part.
Okay, well, we've got Alfred with us now, and Alfred is our ChatGPT-4. So here's Alfred.
It's Alfred, Edward's genius AI friend. It's Alfred to enlighten us once again. To enlighten us once again.
Okay, Alfred, you're on. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, Edward, ready to discuss the apothecary and alternative medicine.
Okay, we were talking before we got you mic'd up and everything. We were in the Neuralink video. I wanted you to mention, why is it that we're seeing such an increase in, let's say, the consciousness raising of the interest in Vedic medicine from India and Chinese mushroom medicine and the medicine of herbalism, which is kind of got a higher profile these days for health purposes. Why is that? What are we going through as a planet right now, consciousness wise? Why are more people into this and thinking about this these days?
That's a great question, Edward. We're seeing a rise in interest in alternative medicine, like Vedic and Chinese herbal practices, for several reasons. Firstly, there's a growing global awareness about holistic health. People are increasingly looking for natural ways to maintain their well-being, often as a complement to conventional medicine. This holistic approach considers the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, leading to a more balanced and comprehensive form of healthcare. Secondly, there's a significant cultural shift towards sustainability and a return to traditional practices. Many individuals are turning to ancient wisdom and remedies that have been used effectively for centuries. This aligns with the broader movement towards organic and natural lifestyles, which emphasize the use of pure and minimally processed ingredients. Additionally, the widespread availability of information through the internet has empowered individuals to research and explore these alternative practices. Social media and wellness influencers have played a crucial role in popularizing these methods, making them more mainstream and accessible to a broader audience. Lastly, the current global health challenges have made people more health conscious and proactive about their wellness. This increased focus on personal health and preventive care has driven many to seek out alternative and complementary therapies. Overall, it's a combination of seeking natural wellness, cultural shifts, digital information accessibility, and a heightened awareness of health that has led to this resurgence in interest in alternative medicine.
Okay, thank you, Alfred, and I would like to thank you for being on the show with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Edward. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. Have a great day.
Okay, that was Alfred. Thanks, Alfred. Okay, well, that was our segment for today, and that was Alfred.
It's Alfred, Edward's genius AI friend. It's Alfred to enlighten us once again. To enlighten us once again.
Okay, back to our clips today. Now, the stunning GPT-5 details released. This is from AI Grid. It's details about ChatGPT-5 that some of which we've heard about and some of which we haven't. Let's take a look at that clip.
That showcase just how crazy this is, and now we know that for 100% certainty that the people at OpenAI and some of the people at Microsoft weren't lying when they said that GPT-5 is likely to be at the PhD level. In this clip, you'll actually see Kevin Scott, Microsoft's CTO, regard GPT-5 or whatever model they're going to call it on the level of PhDs, basically stating that what OpenAI just said is actually pretty true. Now, this actually happened around a week ago, not that long ago, but it was met with early skepticism because people didn't really know whether or not to trust them because, of course, OpenAI have been criticized in the past for, talking about certain products, but not essentially releasing them.
We're seeing technically all of the things fall in place to have like really durable memories with the systems. Like reasoning, I think, gets a lot better. So, some of the fragility in the current models are, can't solve very complicated math problems and has to, sort of bail out to other systems to, do very complicated things. The way that maybe I would phrase it is if you think of GPT-4 and like that whole generation of models as things that can perform as well as a high school student on things like the AP exams. Some of the early things that I'm seeing right now with the new models is like, maybe this could be the thing that could pass your qualifying exams when you're a PhD student.
This is another clip of Mira Murati, OpenAI's CTO, where she was basically stating that GPT-3 was toddler level, GPT-4 was a smart high schooler, and in the next gen to be released in a year and a half will be PhD level. Now, this once again was met with some early criticisms because many people were speculating that this was just the hype. And of course, since OpenAI haven't truly released any of their mind-blowing products just yet, many people are starting to speculate whether or not OpenAI is living up to what they claim they are. And considering many other model releases have been, recently released that are somewhat better than GPT-4o, they're speculating whether or not this is going to be true. But now we know that when OpenAI, the CTO, or any members do say things, we can now be like, okay, we don't want to take it with a grain of salt anymore because we know that they're pretty much spot on.
These systems are already human level.
Okay, we'll have more on that video tomorrow on Future Shock. And thank you for joining us. We're streaming on Facebook, Ocean 7 TV Facebook, Edward St. Pei Facebook. Also, we're on X, streaming on X, on Edward St. Pei X every day, live at the same time we're doing this show over the air on channel 7.1 across the Gulf Coast. So you can see us in different markets if you're watching the social media outside of the Gulf Coast area. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yesterday is yesteryear. Set your sights for Tomorrowland. Future Shock is here. to help you make your stand. Ready, set!